Welcome to our amazing episode, Girls with Crowns, sponsored by Black Girl Magic Museum and HBCU Fan-Addict. I'm Dr. Tuesday Mahoney, and I hope that you will enjoy this amazing episode with none other than Queen Desiree Jones, Coppin State University. See you there.
But hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Yes,
How are
yes.
you?
Good. So, guys, as I was saying before, I'm Dominique with Black Girl Magic Museum, and everybody else will introduce ourselves and we'll get it rolling.
Yes, hi. I'm so excited. Hey, Dominique. Hi, Queen. Who needs no introduction? You are absolutely gorgeous. I'm Dr. Tuesday Mahoney with HBCU Fan-Addict, and we're partnering tonight with our series. Of course, we all know it's Girls with Crowns. Put the crowns up, put the crowns up. And we do have a beautiful queen who has an established crown, and we're so excited to have her with us tonight. Of course, she's representing Coppin State University. So we have Miss Coppin State University, none other than Queen Desiree Jones in the house.
Yes,
Woo!
what an introduction. Listen, you got to do my introduction. I'm just playing.
Yes, the fierce Queen Desiree Jones is joining us from the East Coast tonight. East Coast tonight. Baltimore, Maryland, right?
Yes. Hello, everyone. I am Desiree Jones. I am a graduating senior English major, and I'm from Sicklerville, New Jersey. It's a little small town in South Jersey, like maybe 25 minutes away from Philly, if you're familiar with the area. And I serve as the 90th Miss Coppin State University. So I'm excited
Say
to
that
be
again,
here.
the what?
The 90th Miss Coppin State
90th. Represent once again years and years of legacy right here before us, representing Coppin State University in Baltimore, Maryland. Is it in Central Baltimore?
It's like in the center of Baltimore. We're located on the west side of Baltimore.
All right, on the west side.
So yeah.
We're so very excited once again to have you as the Goodwill Ambassador representing your campus. If you're from Coppin State, I see some shout outs, Dominique, in there.
Yes. Girl.
Yes. Shout out to all the students at Coppin State University in the city of Baltimore, Maryland. Once again, I'm with HBCU Fan-Addict, and our whole purpose is to emphasize the historically Black colleges and universities, the power of their history, the influence of the academics, and of course, the culture all the way. And then Dominique, let you introduce Black Girl Magic to those who may be new, Black Girl Magic Museum to those who may be new to the set tonight.
Absolutely. My name is Dominique Hamilton. I'm the founder and creator of Black Girl Magic Museum. We launched in Dallas, Texas in 2020. So yes, right during a pandemic and everything else that was going on, we launched and we was able to expand into Shreveport, Louisiana. That's how I met the fabulous Dr. Tuesday Mahoney, and we are going to be launching into some other markets. Yes. You know, Baltimore, we would love to come there, but y'all get too much snow. We could barely handle.
We're going to hit you in the spring and the summer.
Yes,
you still have to come down here so we can.
We have to come.
We have
to come to Coppin State University in Baltimore, but we will be there. I don't care, rain, sleet, or snow, Dominique. We are coming. We're coming to see this beautiful queen tonight, representing once again the campus of Coppin State University. We have Queen Desiree Jones, who is the 90th queen of this historically Black college. We're so excited to find out more about the amazing campus and all that it has to offer the nation. And so, Queen Desiree, can you please kick us off with some HBCU facts, because we go directly to the source?
Yes, I would love to. So Coppin State University was actually founded in 1900. Our namesake, Fannie Jackson Coppin, she was a pioneer in the educational realm. Coppin State started off as a teacher's college. We really wanted to stress the importance of education. And then over time, we became Coppin State College, and now we are in a university. Our 8th president, his name is Dr. Anthony L. Jenkins, and I'm very excited that he is our president. He just became our president, got inaugurated last fall. And
Congrats.
yes, and he's been very, very innovative, trying to make, I've called this year for Coppin our transitional phase. And he's definitely made it his priority to gather us into that transition. So I'm very, very happy about that. Coppin State is the has the number one nursing program in Maryland, and we rank number 7 in the country. So if you are interested in nursing, please come to Coppin because our nursing program is awesome. The people who are in the nursing program are awesome. They've helped us during COVID-19, and they've been
Shout out
so
to our
supportive.
essential workers.
Yes, yes, so supportive. We also have other majors like criminal justice, psychology, early childhood education. Those are our top majors that we do have. And people thrive in them. People love them very, very much. I'm the English major, so I love my program. So the professors in my program are awesome. They've made a really, really big impact on me, considering that I am about to graduate in May. Oh my gosh!
Congratulations.
That's amazing.
And let's roll over into your career with that. Where are you taking that again?
So actually, I got an offer to work for Teach for America after I graduate.
I'm
So
familiar.
I'm going to, thank you. So I will be doing that after I graduate. And then I want to go back to school to get my master's in business to pursue a career in PR. So that's my end goal, is to work at a PR firm or to hopefully own my own public relations firm in entertainment. So yes.
Oh, wow, that is amazing. Yes, we have a lot of experience with working with PR. That is something that's definitely essential.
Network.
Yes.
You know,
and when you want to start, exposing your company and getting that awareness out there, I always go. And Jen, she's in the comments. That's some of our PR. So y'all should connect. Yes. She can tell you a little bit about being in PR and working and things like that. So yes, that is a great field to go into. You always have a job.
Yes.
Definitely. And you speak very well. You speak very well. I could definitely see where that PR, public relations, will be an powerful impact, for you. And then I love the fact that you're going to dive right into education, empowering and inspiring students like Coppin State University has been doing since the 1900s with its proud history, its colorful tradition, and deep community roots. So we're so excited to have Coppin tonight represented. And so I wanted to just dive right into who this beautiful queen is, Desiree Jones, with us tonight. How did you decide that Coppin State University would be your HBCU of choice? And I just so
the one. So my story is actually kind of interesting. I did not know anything about Coppin State before I applied. It was almost fate, I would say. I was at home with my dad, and we got like this brochure in the mail that said that if I submitted an application, that they would waive my application fee. And so my dad was just like, why not? Go for it. We don't know the school, but I've heard some things about it. Just apply and see what happens. So I applied, and literally within a week, I had gotten accepted. And so this was right before I graduated too. So once after I graduated, I got a chance to do the student orientation. And so I came down to Baltimore and I saw the campus and I fell in love with it, more so because Coppin is actually a very, very small school. Right now we have about 500 students living on campus. So I knew that this is somewhere that I wanted to be because I came from a small high school. I only graduated with 87 people. So that's a very, very small number, and which I love because I wasn't just a number in a classroom. The teachers knew my name. They were familiar with me. All of the students in my high school were familiar with me as well. And that's kind of a similar experience that I wanted at my university. And I really thought that I wanted that big school experience. But then when I came to Coppin and I realized our students to faculty ratio is 13-1. So wow. We really have a small knit environment where the teachers will know your name. You're not just a number. People will be able to connect with you. And Baltimore is very small. Even just from being in Baltimore, you get to know the people here, even if they don't go to your school necessarily, because of the environment being so small. So that's really why I decided to come to Coppin, because I knew that the small knit environment was going to be for me. And 4 years later, we still here. So
Getting ready to cross that stage. Yes, that cap and gown. Okay, excellent. I just wanted to mention, just being a college administrator, that a lot of students try the larger schools at first, and then they have a hard time and they end up stopping out. So we have a very high, what we call stop out rate. It's drop out when you're in high school, stop out when you're in college. But a lot of times it's all about the college choice and the size. So you would probably, if you try a larger school, you'll probably do well in a smaller environment. You'll have that one-on-one relationship. And I know with HBCUs, we treat every student like family. Like, I'm the auntie. I'm not the mom, I'm the auntie or something, or the very, very close friend,
Right.
But
I
we
found a
treat
couple
all
of
our
those
students with love.
here.
Yes, because I'm just too young to be the mom, right, Dominique?
Yes.
Yes, Dominique, hit our queen. Let's find out a little bit more about this beautiful queen.
Absolutely. What are some of the initiatives that you have on the campus that you do as being the queen and things like that? Like, what are some things? I read your bio and I see that you're dibbling and dabbling into a little bit of everything, but what are some initiatives that you have going on?
Yes. So for me, one of the biggest things before I even became a campus queen that was very important to me was upholding tradition. That is something that I take pride in, because without tradition, we don't have a campus, we don't have a history, we don't have a legacy to leave behind. The tradition is the foundation, in my opinion. And so that's one thing, that's one of the initiatives that I've taken. Like, Professional Wednesdays is a really big thing for me. Getting dressed up every single Wednesday to show that, like, this is what's going to prepare you for the real world. There's an intention behind it, And so that's one of the things that I've been very, very diligent on thus far. Also, another thing is mental health, especially coming off of quarantine. People need support. People need to feel supported, and having, being able to talk to people and see people in person now has given me that platform to be able to say, like, how is your day? How are you feeling? And sometimes that can go a long way, like not always having a long conversation, but just walking past someone and saying, like, how are you feeling today? And sometimes that can, like, change their whole mood. So those have definitely been, like, my top things that I really wanted to achieve while being Miss Coppin, just because, like I said, tradition, you really need that as a foundation, especially after I leave and the next queen comes up. Like, upholding that is super, super important to me, as well as making sure that your mind is right. Because if your mind is not right, then you cannot function at all. Like, the mind is how the whole body functions. So, yes.
I love that you said about the mental health. So during this time, I want to ask you, especially with our college students, I think sometimes we talk about the middle school, elementary, high school, and how they were able to, handle the pandemic. What about you, and then also being a queen during the pandemic? I know that there may be restrictions. How do you handle that? And just also with the mental health, handling, stepping up to the plate with being a queen, and then juggling school, your mental health, your relationships. How do you make all of that happen
during quarantine?
Yes, and even now, like, even though we're out of quarantine, but we're still in a pandemic, so
yeah. So that's a really great question. So for me, I was already kind of in preparation for this, because I was already a student leader on campus during COVID. So I'm actually the chair now of the Student Activities Programming Board. I know at other schools it's called CAB. And so here, during quarantine, or like during when we weren't really like as active on campus, we were still putting on events for students. And so that kind of helped me in preparation for this role, regardless of if you were still virtual or how we are now in person. And so I think that for me to be able to handle every single thing, I really had to juggle my time management, making sure that everything is laid out for me. And that's not to say that it's perfect all the time, but having that routine there just in front of me as a guide for when I do slip up, or for when I do forget to do some things. Like, I'm a queen, but I'm also human, so there will be mistakes along the way. So definitely having like that in front of me. As far as mental health goes, and this is something that I'm going to be blunt and honest with, I struggle sometimes with, because I want to do everything. I want to contribute as much as possible. And a lot of my sister queens have helped me in just understanding, like, that's all right. It's okay. You can take a break. Like, you can take a mental health day. Like, I literally just took one like the other day because I was just like, I just need to stop for a second, regroup, and come back to the drawing board. So I think it's also like knowing your body, knowing, you know, what you can do. And that has helped me as well. Like sometimes I do need to take a break, and I do need to have like those mental health days. And then like seeing that happen in other areas on campus. Like I used to be an RA, and that was one of the things that like our resident director stressed. Like, if you guys need a mental health day today, just let me know, and you're free to take one. Like, you don't have to feel like you have to go, you know, 100 miles a minute every single day, because eventually you're just going to be running off of fumes, you know, which is not good. So that's definitely how I've managed it. And also, you know, having the support of other leaders around me as well. I have some really, really great student leaders around me, whether it's my sister queens, whether it's my brother kings, whether it's my own king or my own royal court at Coppin. Like, we've all helped each other in some capacity because we're all involved in a lot of things, and we understand that it can definitely get overwhelming. So having them as like my support system as well as like my family and my friends outside of it is definitely what's keeping me, you know, keeping the train chugging.
No, and that's definitely good. That's good, because during this time, mental health is so important. So I appreciate your response.
Yes, yes.
And yeah, I do too. I definitely do. And I know we can relate as entrepreneurs and as professional women that we just go, go, go as Black women, period. We just go, go, go. I literally just pulled up like five seconds ago to get here, you know, from going, going, going. So I made it though.
Yes.
But, you know,
Yeah.
I had to see this beautiful Queen Desiree from Coppin State University. And just for those college students who may be listening, just know that on the college campus, you traditionally have a counseling center. So try to find out where your counseling center resource is if you're experiencing anything. Because when you leave home, for those who are leaving home, or even if you're a commuter student, you don't realize that those services, those support services are there on the college campus. And then we have students like Queen Desiree, who is the Goodwill ambassador for her campus, who already feels that mental health is a priority, and she's utilized that as her platform. So thank you, Queen, for making that available for students on your campus.
Definitely
Yes.
seek out the counseling center if any way that you can. It's free for all students.
Yes.
So please take advantage of it, because if you don't have anyone to talk to, you know that you can talk to them. Everything is completely confidential, so you don't have to feel like worry about them telling your business to anyone, or like it's gonna, you know, be an issue in the future. Like, it's completely between you and them, and it's just an outlet. You know, it could just be you going and sitting in their office and then just having a whole venting session and just saying, okay, I'm ready to go. Like, it doesn't have to be super formal or anything like that.
Definitely. And I'm one of those. Yes, I was going to say I'm one of those for my campus where the doors are always open. You know, I oversee the Title IX, which is dealing with sexual harassment and gender discrimination, as one of my main roles on the campus. So students are always welcome to come in. So on your campus, find those resources and take advantage of them. Even for a lot of students that are transitioning into high school, transitioning from high school to college, you may already have mental health concern, but if you don't self-report on a college campus, we won't know that that's an issue for you, or that you are on any kind of medication that may help support your circumstance. So please step out and feel confident in reporting, you know, any concerns or any disabilities that you may have, because we have those resources on campus overall for mental health. So thank you once again, Miss Queen Desiree, really from Coppin State University. I know Coppin has a time-honored tradition, and they pride themselves in their history. And I wanted to talk to you about this amazing platform that you have going on this month for Black History Month. I know we're at the eve of Black History Month, and I'm so appreciative of the fact that we have Queen Desiree, who I witnessed all month long, not realizing
all month long.
This Black History movement, and come to find out it was our Queen Desiree, Miss Coppin State University. On IG, you actually have a Black History platform, a movement movement going, really. Can you tell us why you decided to do that? And it's so powerful. I'm learning so much from our historical trailblazers. And yeah, tell us why you decided to do that first.
Yeah, so I decided to do the 28 Days of Black Excellence for February because it's very important for us to see, I'm going to say, not the same Black figures in society all of the time. You know, as a young girl, I grew up on Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, Ruby Bridges. Those were like the top 4 people that we learned in school, but there's so many others that have contributed.
Oh, more.
Not even just from like the political standpoint, but from the arts, like musically, dance, singers. Like there's other influences in society that Black people have contributed to. We are in all spaces and we should be represented that way. And that was really my thought process before like creating, or while I decided to create 28 Days of Black Excellence, because Black excellence lives in every space in the world, not just in the United States. And so that was very important for me to highlight a lot of Black people in our community may not know about. You know, like it might be someone up there that I put up there that you did not know. And sometimes I had to do my own research and seeing like who could I do today that was going to help me in my own learning experience as well. So that definitely was a help for me. And then I also wanted to help others as well.
I absolutely love that because just a little insert, that was one of the reasons why when I started Black Girl Magic Museum, I was like, we talk about Harriet Tubman, we talk about all of these people, which, you know, we're going to continue to talk about it. But what about even the Black history in the making, the people that make even 5 years, you know, Michelle Obama was history.
Queen Desiree Jones.
Yes, you are history. So
making history right now.
Yeah,
as a 90th queen.
Yes, and that was something I valued, was like, we can go, and when people come into the museum, they're like, what about? And I'm like, well, we learned about Ruby, which I, for one, love Ruby Bridges. My mom said she didn't know when I would stop watching Ruby on the Disney Channel when it was coming on when I was younger. But I told, like, people would come in and they didn't know who Shirley Chisholm was, or even like with Angela Davis, you know, there's a lot of people that we don't hear about, you know, when you talk about the arts, you know, there's a lot of people in arts that's making an impact that we don't know about. So I'm glad that you highlighted that, because it's so true and it's so necessary.
Yeah.
And you know,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Queen.
Even like someone like Jimi Hendrix, for example, he's like he plays a very huge role in like rock and roll. And a lot of people don't know that, like, not even just like Black music or how Black music has like surfaced now. If you look at like rock and roll as a whole, like he's contributed so much to that. And not even just rock and roll, but also how you play the guitar. Like his sound was so unique to himself, but you would not know that. You get what I'm saying? If that's not something that you're into, especially if you're not into like rock and roll, you might not know how big of a part that he played during that era. So I think that it's very important that, like, you know, we don't know the impact that a lot of Black people have been making without seeking it. So yeah.
Yes. I was gonna say, Queen, that is really what, for Dominique, Black Girl Magic Museum represents for Black women and girls in history, because we have to tell our story and we have to tell it with pride, and we have to tell the whole story. That's why I was really so impressed with your movement. The 28 Days of Black History, is that what it was?
28 Days of Black Excellence.
Black excellence, and you know, we're practicing Black excellence every day, and we're 365 days a year empowered in Black excellence. And we're sitting here today with Queen Desiree Jones from Coppin State University, who is the epitome of Black excellence. Dominique, can you tell us a little bit about how, and we were just talking about this earlier today, how Black Girl Magic Museum is more than just a pop-up, it's a movement. So tell us a little bit about how you influence Black women in history through your experience in general.
Absolutely. Just like you said, in 2020, I really saw, I was already working on something, but I saw every time we looked on the TV when it came to different Breonna Taylor, Tatiana Jefferson, we saw these negatives, just negatives, and kind of how people made us like we wasn't human, like, oh, this is what's going on. And for me, I see Black excellence all the time. I went to school in Georgia, so I saw Black excellence, I saw entrepreneurs, I saw all, women in different facets and in different walks of life. And I wanted to make sure in a great, playful way, in a enriching, immersive way, that we were able to experience, and not just for Black women, but for everyone to learn that Black women have been the movement and always is going to be a movement, and have breaking down barriers for so many people. And also Black excellence wasn't always deemed Black excellence, even with us. Like at my pop-up, I talk about the good, bad, and ugly. We want to quote the really nice quotes from, Rosa Parks and even like with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, but they were not killed because they were nice and passive. They said things that broke down barriers. And with us, we tell that full story that to make, I love the saying when it says, well-mannered women suddenly make history. And sometimes we do have to shake the table. And I wanted to empower Black women to know that we are excellent, and sometimes we have to shake the table to make change.
Absolutely.
Yes, so Queen, can you tell us, just give us a glimpse? I know you've shared so many. One Black influential woman in history that really stands out to you. I know they all do. Could you share a woman figure?
Yeah, so
Hidden figure.
actually, I wanted to say that for me, although I'm really inspired by all of the Black women in history, I'm actually very inspired by Langston Hughes. He's one of my favorites in society. And I think that although I am an English major, I've been able to soak up his words in so many different areas of my life. Poetry, his essays have really spoken to me in an abundance of ways. And he's really led the way for a lot of Black people to be able to have a voice and to be able to speak on certain things in such a poetic way. Which I really, really love, especially because everybody can't read like everyone, and I'm not saying read, but more of like connect to like an essay. Sometimes you have to speak in an art form in order for it to really stick, which is why like Toni Morrison, she's one of my favorites because she's been able to make an impact just in the arts, you get what I'm saying? So people like her, Zora Neale Hurston, like if you are writing something that is meaningful, I'm going to read it. So
I've got to send you my book.
Yes, she has.
HBCU Fan-Addict.
Yes, and she has anybody on this line, if you have kids that with literacy, she has books that you guys can purchase for your children.
We're sending these to the Queen.
And the HBCU books. So
yes,
absolutely. And I
getting ready for college.
About just the impact. Like even with Langston Hughes, I've read a lot about Langston Hughes and personally love. And then also for me, she's getting a little shine now, I feel, more than in the past, but Ida B. Wells. Like I love how she's just really been a trailblazer, from the beginning. And that's someone that I love, especially when you talk about voting rights. And you know, we're in a season where it's time to start voting and to knowing how to activate your voice. And so I feel like she's made a huge impact when it comes to that. So
I have to also share, Queen. I have to share this. I have to mention this because, we mentioned before, and you stated it briefly about Coppin State University's rich culture, but Fanny Jackson Coppin, who Coppin State was named after and honored her and continues to honor her legacy. I don't know if a lot of people know, and that's where I know Coppin State from that legacy. She was an educator, of course, and the second African-American woman in this country really to earn a college degree. So as we talk about HBCUs, she was a trailblazer in that aspect. I think back in the 1930s, I believe, maybe the late 20s. And then also she was the very first African-American superintendent of schools in the nation. So we need to honor that legacy that's there. Since we have our Queen Desiree here representing Coppin, we truly appreciate that. So Dominique, let's roll into the passion of the thing when it comes down to our Queen tonight. Yes, we want to find out about you and what your passion is in the areas of entrepreneurship. If you have anything, tell us about it.
So for me, I am working on building a brand based around a podcast. It hasn't come out yet. It's still in the works, but just keep a lookout for it. And the podcast is going to be based around unconventional thinking, being able to see things from both sides of it, taking my experience and allowing people to learn from those things. It's going to be a series where we'll be talking about different issues that are more keen to my age group within like the 18 to 25, because I think
for our age group. Okay. What do we need to know now? I'm young at heart.
No, yeah, it's for everyone. But that's definitely something that we're in the works on right now, because I'm very passionate about if you can learn from something that I've done, please do. You know, if I've already fell down the steps, you don't have to fall down the steps, you know. And so that's one of the biggest things, just talking about different social issues, whether it be politically, whether it be in your family, whether it be relationships, whatever it is, that's what we're going to be talking about on the podcast. So I'm very excited. People look out for it.
We're excited too. We're going to support you. Like,
do you have a name for it yet?
I don't. We're still in the process. I'm still in the process of coming up with a name. But you will be able to catch it on my actual personal Instagram at Desirella, DESIRELLA 7.
Make sure you put that in and pin that.
Yes, please, because we would love to support you. And I was just about to say that too. After we do the interviews with our queens, I feel so attached. I'm like, no, maybe you're the queen for the school for 1 year, but you're forever our queens. I just want to say
that. Right. We got to do more with them. And while the queen is putting that in, I see someone. Yes, go Queen, Black Girl Magic.
Yes.
Only one bar. Huh?
Her name's Tamar. She goes to my school.
All right. Well, shout out to the student
support. That is so awesome. So, you said that you're going to be graduating this year and that you're going to be going for Teach for America. What made you make the choice to do that after graduating?
So that's a very good question. So for me, I know that I want to go back to school. That's the ultimate goal. But I wanted to take a break for a second because I did want to get back to my community in any way that I could. And I knew that Teach for America was a good opportunity for me to do it. I actually, one of my mentors, he did Teach for America right after undergrad as well. And he talked to me about his process and what he went through, and how, you know, he was like, we could use teachers like you in this program. And so I applied, like literally like the deadline was like, I didn't even know anything about Teach for America or anything. The deadline was literally that night, and I submitted it. And, you know, I think that it was ordained, because the fact that I've actually gotten the position, it's just like, wow, like this was really fun.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. So I'm very, very excited about it. I think that this will be a good way, because Teach for America is based around helping Black and Brown students as well. So for me, being as though I've been a Brown student my whole life, you know, I want to give back to those that may not always get the opportunity to see someone who looks like me, especially in a classroom. For me, growing up in high school, middle school, elementary school, I can only remember like one Black teacher that I had in all of my 12 years of education before coming to college. And she was my first grade teacher. So imagine like not seeing any other Black teacher all the way up until you graduate, you know? And so for me, especially when it's in classes like history and English, where like what we're reading really impacts you as a student. Especially like I was in a workshop for Teach for America, and they were talking about how like teachers are those who transform lives. And I really, 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 really believe that, because teachers are what set the foundation. We talked about foundation earlier of how these students are going to be in society as they get older and as they decide if they want to go to college or not and things like that. And so I just want to be a part of that as much as I can in any way that I can. And even if it's not just the actual teaching component of it, and it's just how can I help you in your own life, that's really just the goal for me. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yes, I'm very, very excited when it comes down to education. You know, I'm all about empowering in that area. And Queen, I just wanted you to keep this in mind as you pursue your master's degree and move forward, that you also can teach on a college campus, possibly even at an HBCU. So keep professorship in mind. I see that all over you for some reason. So keep that in mind, especially the history. I could really see that being one of your areas in the English impact. We need a lot of professors in English. So a lot of students don't think about it. You can go right to back to your same college campus and be an influence or be an influence for those on other campuses as well as in secondary education. We're so very elated tonight to be in the presence of Queen Desiree Jones for Coppin State University tonight. You've done such a wonderful and phenomenal job with the platform that you have at Miss Coppin State University. I want everybody to go check that out. We might need to pin that. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's already pinned. Okay, great. Great. Yeah, so please check that out in the eve of Black History. I know me and Dominique, we have from this experience with all of the queens, we were just destined to have a special platform related to that and to support those who are interested in the character that we see in these queens. And so we have something special coming. We're going to announce it, our final episode of season 1. We're in our seventh episode. We're going to announce that, and then of course we'll be available to share. So if you are at HBCU and you want to experience Black Girl Magic Museum, you want to experience HBCU Fan-Addict, we're here to empower young women and girls as well as young men in that area. So Queen, could you please, you already shared your president, could you shout out to your royal court if they're with us tonight? And just, you know, just as a thank you to them for supporting you and surrounding you and all the great initiatives, who do we have at Coppin that's out there represent?
Yes, so starting from my Mr. Freshman, my baby king, we have Darius Farrar. And then my Mr. and Miss Sophomore, we have Jawad Williams and Kayla. And then going into my Mr. and Miss Junior, we have Kayleen Perez and Traquan Hayes. And then our Mr. and Miss Senior is Shayla Williams and Kevin. And then for my king, my Mr. Coppin State, we have Jaheed Chapman. But so, yeah, I'm excited. Hey, y'all, if y'all are watching, thank y'all for all of y'all support. I really appreciate it. So, yes.
Well, thank you so much. And then one of the things I love that I want to wrap it up with saying this, or if you guys have any more questions, but when I was reading your bio, I saw how much you volunteered, how much you pour into your community while you're going to school and doing all the things to achieve, but while you're working to achieve your degree, you're still, I saw the food bank and the high schools that you're speaking at and going to and things like that. And I just want to highlight how Black women, when we're still building, we're still lifting people up as we go. And that was just Black excellence for me to see what you was doing. So maybe make a on the last day, close with you on your site, because you are making history with being the 90th queen, and then what you're doing, going back into your communities to give back.
Yes, absolutely. That's like one of, like, we talked about initiatives earlier, community service. Like, I really got into this position, one of the main reasons was to serve. If there's nothing else that I want to do, is to serve the community that at home, Coppin State, but also the surrounding communities in any way that I can, especially when you see and you go outsource and you see how many people actually really need the help. And even not even just, from that standpoint, but even like little girls who might not, know what confidence is or what it means to be a student leader, having me as like a resource for them or a lifeline where it's like, okay, this is something that I could do. That was like a lot that happened. Like, we just had our homecoming in February. And that was one of the things that like a lot of the little girls kept coming up to me. Oh my gosh, like, well, you have a crown on, you have a sash on,
Yeah,
you have on a
love
sash.
it.
Going on? Can I take a pic? You know what I'm saying? And like me and my one of my mentors were talking about that earlier, about how like you really don't know the impact that you have on someone, even someone that might be 5, 6, or 7. And that's really important to have, like, make those first impressions count, because they don't want to see, you know, a Miss Coppin that is rude to them and that didn't uphold herself to the highest standard. They want to see someone who carries himself with grace and who serves their community, you know? And so that's one of the biggest things for me, is going out into the community and being able to help them really feeds my soul, especially because whatever you get out, whatever you put out into the world, you're always going to get it back tenfold. So I'm really that's something that I've really been, you know, advocating for at Coppin, making sure, like, I had a Christmas drive right before we went on holiday break, and I gave out like gloves and scarves and hats and hand sanitizer and tissues, you know, things, essentials for the winter time and COVID, you know? And so, like, you know, something as simple as that, it's just, you never know what can make someone's day, you know, and that's really important to me. So yes.
Yes, Queen, you have a tremendous platform, and we really appreciate that you're utilizing that platform to impact the community out there in Baltimore, Maryland. And of course, that's going to rescind all over with the impact you have for HBCUs as the 90th Queen. We really appreciate you tonight. I was just looking at a quote that says, with our future ahead of us and our ancestors beside us, there's nothing we can't do. And this amazing Queen Desiree Jones is definitely demonstrating that in her reign for Coppin State University. So thank you so much for that. Do you have any final words? If you could leave a little girl something to empower her, someone that may be giving up, what would you say?
I would say to stay true to who you are, be yourself. And I know that, you know, it could come off as cliche, but who you are is so unique in this world. There is literally no one out here that is made like you, that can talk like you, that can walk like you.
One and only.
Yes, a leader like you. You are your own person in and out. And that is one thing that I would say, if you're ever thinking about giving up, or if you're not sure if this is something that you do or you want to do, go and do it. Like, one of my favorite quotes by Nelson Mandela is, everything seems impossible until it's done. Like, you really have to put yourself out there.
Love it.
See change, not even just in your community, but within yourself. And so I think that that's like one thing that I would definitely say, if you're ever giving up, or if you're ever doubting yourself, or if you don't know where to go, just do it. You know, inspiration can take you a long way, but inspiration can't keep you. You have to actually do the work, put in the time, sacrifice, to be able to see results. And so, yeah, that's what I would say.
I can't wait for this podcast. This podcast is going to be fire. Do you hear me? I cannot wait for this podcast. You definitely sold. You've been sold. We were already going to support, but now I'm
Fire and inspire.
Yes, super inspired.
Our
That was
class
so
with
good.
Desiree
So true.
Jones.
Yes, thank you so much for that word. And all of our queens, y'all have such a, you know, I think about my mom would always take us to the church, and, you know, they say, train up for the child in the way it should go, and when they get old, they will not depart from it. And y'all are just showing me every week I get on, and y'all quote the Bible. You think y'all are walking, y'all being leaders, y'all are stepping out on faith. And I really love it. And it just is true. The work that your parents have done is, you know, you can see, and the work that you guys are pouring into the community for our young ladies. Yes.
Hello, Mom. Hello, Dad.
Oh, yes. Are they on the thing? Yes. Hi. Yes. Great.
Shout out. And where were you from once again?
Sicklerville, New Jersey.
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay, Sicklerville, New Jersey. Shout out to Sicklerville. Look what you all have created here. Oh my goodness.
Yes,
let's roll through and see if we
really,
can find more queens like this.
Right, and that's what I was just about to say, because it's very impactful to know that, because when you start a business, or even like when you're in school, things get really tough, and sometimes you don't realize that, you know, you can, like you just said, how you're the only one. You know, you are, it's just you, you know, the way that you're made, the way that you talk, the way you speak, the things that you create, and just about pushing forward. I think that we have to constantly hear that and have people around us that constantly push us forward and empower us to keep pushing forward. There she goes. She said she wasn't going to embarrass you at first, but now she said, hey, my baby girl. Yes, we love
All right.
on here and support. Absolutely.
Yes.
But Dr. Tuesday, do you have anything to close? I know we could keep you all night, Desiree, but we're not gonna...
I know. I just want to go on and on with this amazing queen. Once again, we have been been embraced with our beautiful queen, Miss Coppin State University, none other than Queen Desiree Jones, with us tonight, representing the Jones family, right?
Yes.
So excellent job to mom and dad, and we appreciate your advisors also for doing such a wonderful job with grooming you and having you out there impacting the community in such a powerful way. We're going down south next week, I think, for our final night, I believe, for this season. So we're going to Texas. We're not going to tell you who. We're going to keep it in suspense. But tonight we've definitely been overwhelmed with joy from the East Coast for Coppin State. So could you tell us the website? Is it Coppin? I think I put it in Coppin.edu.
Yes.
Just Coppin.edu. Yes, Coppin.edu. If you're interested in going off to this phenomenal HBCU, I mean, you can come from anywhere in the world and attend this HBCU. So if you're in another country watching tonight, hey, Coppin State University in Baltimore, Maryland, USA,
Yes.
check it out at Coppin State edu and have that opportunity to be embraced with academics and excellence that we see here exhibited tonight through our Queen Desiree Jones. Thank you, Miss Queen, so much. You are once again absolutely gorgeous. We need to make sure we say that, girl with a crown, girls with crowns. We thank you for doing our series tonight, and we're going to wrap up with that appreciation. And once again, shout out to your president. So we do this for our history. Once again, we do this for the for our academics, and we do this for
The culture.
the culture.
Yeah.